Okay, now how do I use this functional trend line? So a trend line works this way. So if I were to be able to look at an image like this blue line is an example of an uptrend line. Again, you can see lows, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. Highs are also getting higher. So we have an uptrend here, and we connected as many of the lows as possible with this line. And given that context, every time I see a pullback to that line or close to that line, opens up a buying opportunity for me. So whether it be this one, whether it be this one, or whether it be this one. And you just go ahead and follow that through. Now you might ask, so when do I sell? Well, if some of you want to take your chances on selling at areas like this, my suggestion is you sell maybe 1/4 of your position or maybe 10, 20% of your position just to take a little profit. But the idea is as long as the trend holds, try to hold your position. And it's only when the trend turns around that you want to liquidate. So an example of that is this. So here's your trend line, and you can see that the trend line here is broken after prices breach that particular trend line. So this is an area you should be selling. So whatever you bought here, 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 or here, you can now take good profit here and witness, of course, the profitability of that entire condition. So you sell. Now, when a downtrend comes, you can see now that when I see lower highs are being catered to, I will start drawing different trend lines, and sometimes I may need to adjust those trend lines, especially if the trend starts to accelerate. It happens sometimes, especially as a more firm trend comes into being. So, and later I'll explain to you why this happens. But whenever you see a high followed by a lower high, you can draw a downtrend line to represent the downtrend. If it accelerates and you see another lower high generate here, then from the last high point, you can draw another line to demonstrate what it is. So don't sell when prices are screaming down this way. Wait for the rally towards your resistance and sell it there. Don't sell in the screaming decline here. Wait for the rally to resistance before you liquidate your position. So we just put to practice what we've learned earlier on. So let's do that for real. So let's have a look at URC here. Now, so we have URC, and let's draw a bit of a line for you. So here's an example of a downtrend line. If you notice that we have resistance here, here, and for a while here, but eventually prices managed to break above that level, and a new trend was generated. In this case, an uptrend. And it shot up quite forcefully, jumped back up, went back up, retested the high, failed, and eventually broke through that particular trend line. And then look what happened to the price. It changed its course. So you can see immediately that when trend lines are broken, something happens to the trend. It can change. And then later we'll talk a bit more about that in-depthly. But as the trend changes, you notice that I've been drawing my trend lines on the tops when it's going down and on the bottoms when it starts to recover. Once a downtrend breaks above, you can see the new trend line can be drawn, and now I can scope where the next levels of demand can be. Again, after the rally, bounce on support, bounce on the next support, bounces again on the next support, and then it cracks through the trend line area. This is a support break, and then turns the trend around again. So this time I have a new downward trending environment taking place. Goes down, tries to rally, and again, eventually breaks that downtrend, and it's only then that you have a new uptrend come back. So let's try to be able to scope out the new trend based on this. So you can see the next lows. There we go. And let's look a little further and adjust this. And now you can see that the next push into the price bounces on support, near support, the next one. And again, go ahead and buy in those rebounds. But the minute that trend line breaks, out you go. And you can see that you would have protected yourself from having to be able to bear through this next decline that you've had. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just doing it over and over again as the trend continues, and I'm just drawing trend lines, and I use this to be able to push my entry and my exit into these prices a long time. And this is how a trend line can be quite useful for us, so we know exactly what to do when we see it.